Over the years, I have made a lot of videos about Call of Duty story, diving into breakdowns of overall games, story summaries, like we have done with Modern Warfare 3. But one thing that I've done more than anything else is individual characters' backstories. And we've done a couple already for Modern Warfare 3, but this one I'm going to be doing a little bit different. Because I think the story of Yuri, as you can tell by the title, is an interesting one to look at in a different way. To not just look at Yuri's character in the present Modern Warfare 3, but rather look at Yuri's character as a whole in the original trilogy, as well as the rebooted trilogy that we have so far. And by doing this, we can see a contrast as to how they wrote Yuri, how his character changed, and how he is progressing moving forward. Because believe it or not, I truly believe that Yuri might be the most important for the Modern Warfare story moving forward, and in conjunction with the Black Ops story as well. And you'll see what I mean by that as we move through, but I wanted to kind of compare and contrast these characters. So not only is this going to be the full story of Yuri in Modern Warfare Roman numeral 3, it's also going to be the full story of Yuri in the original Modern Warfare trilogy as well. So without further ado, let's start there.
Yuri, over here! We need to get soap to the chopper! What is that?
So at the beginning of the original Modern Warfare 3, Task Force 141 is running low on operators after Ghost and Roach had been taken out during Modern Warfare 2. And to make things even worse, Task Force 141 has been disavowed because they are going against General Shepard. So they need a new operator. And as it turns out, Nikolai happened to know someone. And that someone was, of course, Yuri. So after the introduction from Nikolai, Yuri goes alongside Task Force 141 fighting against Vladimir Makarov. And finally, when they think they have the upper hand on Makarov, everything is turned on its head.
What the hell? Price, who is that?
Kamarov. I'm sorry, Price. Captain Price. Ад ждет тебя.
Price, get out of there!
Yuri, my friend. You never should have
What the
come
hell's he
here.
talking about? Get out now!
Makarov was ready and waiting. As per usual, he was a step ahead of Task Force 141, blowing up the building that Captain Price was inside, but also the building that Yuri and Soap McTavish were inside. And after a giant fall from a high story, Soap McTavish is very, very badly wounded. And this is when things start to click together. Before the unfortunate and sad untimely demise of Soap, he lets Captain Price know one last thing.
Soap! Not now, Soap. Just rest. Get a medic! Come on, stay with me, son. Price. No. Oh, no, 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 no! Soap! No, no, no! Soap! You have to go now! Get off me! I'm sorry.
So with that information spilt to Captain Price now, needless to say, he is very, very mad. Now this is when we get to find out a little bit more about Yuri's backstory.
I was young and patriotic when I first met Vladimir Makarov.
Yuri, wake up.
So Yuri was young, working for the military in the Soviet Union when he was brought in by people like Imran Zakhaev and of course, Vladimir Makarov, and he believed everything that Makarov said. However, as he mentioned, power corrupts. Makarov took everything to the extreme, but the first known circumstance was in 1996. We know that Yuri was in Pripyat when Imran Zakhaev was shot in the arm by none other than Captain Price. And before they drove off, we could see what he was working for and who he was working for. This was then taken a step further in Call of Duty 4 where we find out that 15 years later, during Khalid al-Assad's coup in the Middle East, Yuri was standing next to Makarov. This is also when we get to find out that Vladimir Makarov was responsible for the 30,000 soldiers that were killed in the invasion of the Middle East. But the whole time, Yuri was right beside him. But this is where he started to realize that Makarov was taking things way too far, and he became a double agent, reporting in information on Vladimir Makarov to none other than Task Force 141. We know this because, remember the mission No Russian? Well, Yuri was the one that actually tipped off Task Force 141, and that is why they were able to put Joseph Allen on the inside during that mission. But as per usual, Makarov was one step ahead and knew what Yuri was doing.
I know what you have done, Yuri. I know what you have done. My friend, my ally, my betrayer. What happens here today will change the world forever. Nothing can stop this. Not even you.
So Makarov finds out what Yuri has been doing, how Yuri has double-crossed him, and well, before they go into the Zakhaev airport for the No Russian attack, Makarov shoots Yuri. However, Yuri is not dead. He ends up crawling into the elevator and making his way into the airport, where the complete and utter carnage had just happened. This is seemingly where he is brought in and able to then go and work with Task Force 141. Nikolai then has access to him, which is why he ends up working with Task Force 141. But I don't think we have addressed the coolest thing about this. When Modern Warfare 2's campaign was actually remastered, they actually put Yuri into the game, and if in the middle of the attack on the airport, you were to go back to the very beginning of the level, you were actually able to see Yuri stumbling into the airport and collapsing down onto the ground, which I think is a very cool addition to the game. Now, after this is told to Captain Price, he hesitantly takes Yuri in and says, okay, let's do this, let's take out Makarov. So that's exactly what they do. They finally find out where he is and track him down and go in juggernaut suits. And upon getting to the roof, Captain Price gets in a vicious fight with Makarov. And when everything seems to be against him, one thing, or should I say one person, comes to his rescue.
Goodbye, Captain Price.
Yuri comes to Captain Price's rescue, saves the day, and from here, Captain Price is able to go and take down Vladimir Makarov. And it's all because Yuri saved his life. It's a really cool redemption arc, a one-game redemption arc, and from here, this was the demise of Yuri. He was dead, never to be seen again. Well, that was until the series got rebooted.
Makarov?
Word travels fast.
Only if he wants it to.
You think he's working for the Kremlin?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I have a contact who might know the answer. I need transport.
Where?
Arklov military base.
It's heavily guarded.
Can you do it?
To stop Makarov? Of course.
I need to get in and back out. Could go upside down quickly.
I specialize in upside down Roswell.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Who's your contact?
Yuri Volkov.
Yuri's on the payroll?
Yuri never took a dime.
That's Yuri. When do we leave?
How's now?
So Yuri is now introduced by Kate Laswell. However, it is heavily implied that Nikolai knows him. They are friends. They asked if he is being paid. Kate Laswell said he never took a dime. So it implies that Yuri's a good guy, friends with Nikolai, so on and so forth. Now, there's one thing that I don't understand about this cutscene. After Modern Warfare 2019, Kate Laswell was working with the Russians, in particular the FSB and Komarov. Now, the base she is going into here is not Coney Ultra Nationalist. It is Russians. And I don't understand why she couldn't just reach out to her contacts and go see Yuri. I don't know if it was just because it's a secret military base or what. They didn't really explain that fully. However, she sneaks into the military base, ends up getting inside, and finds her contact.
Yuri.
Watcher, I'm impressed, but not surprised. Any issues?
Several.
Collateral damage?
I hope it's worth their sacrifice. What do you have?
FSB files in Barkov's research.
Chemical weapons.
As a soldier, Makarov was enamored with their potential.
So this time, Yuri actually doesn't seem to be working with Makarov, however, is just a soldier within the FSB. So he gets information on what is going on and what they have on Makarov, and they find out that he is extremely interested in chemical weapons, specifically in the way that Roman Barkov from Modern Warfare 2019 used them. And if you don't know how that was, he used chemical attacks to take over Urzikstan, similar to how Makarov wants to take over Urzikstan. But the question from here is, why is Yuri giving them this information? And we get an answer.
The Kremlin is not behind these chemicals.
That doesn't mean Makarov isn't working with Moscow.
There are extremists in both our governments.
Now, when I first heard that, I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that. There are extremists in both our governments, but that was until I thought outside of the Modern Warfare universe. In fact, it's when I started thinking about the Black Ops universe, and there's evidence to support this. Because the situation where we get information on extremists being hidden within the government with their own hidden agenda is from Black Ops Cold War, and they are a group called Perseus. Now, in the mission where you play as Farah and Captain Price, you go into an old Soviet bunker, and in that bunker, you find Perseus flags scattered throughout it. So I think Yuri, in this situation, is actually referring to Perseus and saying that Makarov might actually be a part of it, working with those extremists within the government. Now, there is one last thing that we can look at when it comes to Yuri in Modern Warfare 3, and it's the fact that we actually learned his full name. It is Yuri Volkov. Now, he's not the only Volkov that we've heard about in Call of Duty. There was one in Black Ops Cold War, someone by the name of Anton Volkov. He was also Russian. Specifically, he was a Russian mafia boss that was dealt with in that game. However, there is no direct correlation. We don't know if these characters are related in any way. All we know is that both have the same last name. I just wanted to point that out. So as far as the new Yuri, he is known by both Kate Laswell and Nikolai. We know that he works in the Russian military, but has ties and informs for the American. He believes in the greater good and is willing to work against Makarov. We don't know if we'll see him more moving forward, but for now, this has been the full story of Yuri. If you do enjoy these type of videos and want to see more of them, the best way to show me is by hitting that like button. I don't do this often, but if you could hit that like button, I would really greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel, really helps out these story videos. So if you enjoy them, that's the best way to show me. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my videos. Let me know what you thought of Yuri down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but